Hello students! Mrs. Averett has asked me to make an activity for you guys once a week with English Language Arts, so expect to see a video from me every Tuesday or Thursday about. So the activity that I have for you today is called sentence expanding, and the purpose of this is it will help you get better with writing. It will help you make more detailed, interesting sentences in your writing. So, here's the first sentence we're going to do. So, the sentence is, the dog ran. Now, that's a very simple sentence. It doesn't have a lot of details. It's not very interesting. So, to help us make it longer, make it more interesting, we're going to ask 4 questions. Where, when, how, and why. So, again, the sentence is, the dog ran. So the first question to ask is where. Where did the dog run? And it can be anywhere. I'm going to say that the dog ran to his owner. So I'm just going to write that here so we don't forget. The owner. Okay, now, when did the dog run? Well, let's say maybe in the morning. It could be in the afternoon, evening. I'm going to say morning. Okay, how did the dog run? Did the dog run fast, slow, quickly, quietly, loudly? I'm going to say he ran quickly. When you're doing this, it'll be your sentence. You can choose whatever words and other details you want to add. And now the last question, why did the dog run? Well, if he's running to his owner, maybe they're playing fetch. So I'm just going to say that. Playing fetch. So now, to change our sentence, the dog ran, into something more interesting using the information here, we have to combine it into one full sentence. So, how we might do that, we might say, the dog quickly ran to his owner while they played fetch in the morning. So let me finish writing that real quick and then I'll show it to you. Okay, here's the full sentence. The dog quickly ran to his owner while they played fetch in the morning. So I added all the information from here, where, when, how, and why. And, well, just think to yourself, what's a more interesting sentence? The dog ran, or the dog ran quickly to his owner while they played fetch in the morning. So that's just one example of how to do it. In the next couple examples, I'm going to show you answering or expanding a sentence with these questions, but not all of them. You don't always have to answer all 4 questions to expand a sentence. You can still make a good sentence only answering maybe two or 3 of the questions. So, okay, the next sentence that we're going to expand is, I like running. So again, that's kind of a short, simple, not very interesting sentence to read. So, to expand it, we're going to use our 4 questions, and I'm only going to answer 3 of them this time. We don't always have to answer all 4. So the first question, where? Where do I like running? I like to run around my block, so I'm going to write that down. Okay. Now, when do I like to run? I like to run in the morning. If you like to run at a different time, again, that's your sentence. Put whatever words you like. I like to run in the morning. That's when. How do I like to run? I guess quickly. If you're running, though, that's kind of a given. So we're going to skip over the question how I like running. So why do I like running? Well, I like running because it wakes me up in the morning. Okay. So now to change our sentence from I like running to something more interesting. We have to combine all of this information into one sentence. So to do that, I might say, I like running around my block in the morning because it wakes me up. So let me finish writing that. Okay, there it is. I like running around my block in the morning because it wakes me up. So again, that's a lot more detailed, more interesting sentence to read than just, I like running. Okay, in the next example, I'm going to have you guys do it along with me, either on a piece of paper or just in your head. And we'll come up with something different, but it'll just kind of help you see that there's more than one correct way to do this. There's not always just one correct way to do this. Every sentence is a little different. So, okay, the last example that I'm going to give you on video is Joe walked home. And remember, I want you to do this either with me in your head or on your own piece of paper. I'll try to pause a little bit in between answering the questions. So, Joe walked home. So again, our 4 questions: where, when, how, and why. We don't always have to answer all 4 to make a good sentence. I'm only going to answer 2 in this. You can answer as many as you want as you do it. So for where Joe walked home, that one's kind of hard for me to think of something, so I'm actually going to skip that. If you want to answer that for your sentence, go ahead and do that right now on paper or in your head. Okay, for when Joe walked home. Well, he probably walked home after school, I'm going to say, so I'll write that down. If you don't want to answer that one, you don't have to. So, and you have a moment to come up with your own answer. Right, how Joe walked home from school. Again, I can't think of something for that, how he walked home. If you can think of something, go ahead and write it down real quick. Okay, why Joe walked home. Well, let's say he missed the bus, so that means he has to walk home. And go ahead and write down yours, or just think of it. If you want to answer that one, try to answer 2 of them in your example. Okay, now to change it from Joe walked home to something more detailed and interesting to read, we have to combine it, or all the information, with our original sentence. So, let's see. For my sentence, I'm going to say, Joe walked home after school because he missed the bus. Okay. So, if you did this along with me, you might have got a different sentence than I did. You might have answered a couple different questions. You might have answered all of them. And that's perfectly fine. There's more than one correct way to do it. It doesn't all have to be the same. So, there's the last example. Now, I have a Google form for you guys to do. I have I'm going to give you 4 sentences on there that you have to expand. And when you do it, I want you to answer at least 2 of these questions to expand your sentence. Where, when, how, and why. You don't have to answer all 4, but you have to answer 2 or more. If you can answer all 4 or 3, that's even better. But at least 2 for each sentence you're expanding. So, go ahead and do that. And let me or Mrs. Averett know if you have any questions.